And it was really in those moments that I was understanding the one person who had not been listening to me was me.
Mm-hmm.
Because so often part of what our struggle is, and I'm not sure about you, but part of what my struggle was, I felt unheard.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt as if nobody was willing to take the time to listen to me. Well, when I started listening to myself, my need to be heard by everybody else started calming. And what it opened me up to was being able to hear what other people had to say.
Mm-hmm.
I could bring it in without judgment. I could bring it in without having to solve their problem. I could bring it in and just simply listen, acknowledge what they were feeling, acknowledge what they were saying, ask them, do you want me to help you solve this problem, or do you just need me to listen?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I say to people who are listening right now, if you're struggling with loving yourself, if you're struggling with feeling unheard, find a notebook in your house, a pen that you like to write with, and sit down and start having written conversations, honest written conversations with yourself about what you're really feeling. And know that whatever you are feeling, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, I don't really care. It is okay, because your feelings are your feelings and nobody else gets a vote.
That's very beautiful. Yeah, so maybe I should start doing that for myself. And I really, now that I have learned to love myself, and I mean, I really do. Like, I am my own best friend, and I'm okay to like, I don't need validation from anybody. Like, if they compliment me, that's good. If they don't compliment me, that's good. I don't care either way. It doesn't change. It doesn't change me. Like, I just am happy and content with who I am as a spiritual being. But I take myself out on dates. I sometimes I have to share with my husband, I'm so sorry, but I need to have my alone time and I need to take a walk somewhere. I mean, he gets it. He's fully fine with it. But I'm just like, sometimes I enjoy my alone time. And this is where I feel like I'm closer to, whether you call it universe, God, for me, I say God. So I am closer to God when I'm by myself and my spirit. And it's just a beautiful thing. And then being out in nature always makes me feel really comforted. Like, I feel like, oh, I'm in my elements. Unless I'm doing one of those hard trails, and I feel like I'm torturing myself. Like, what did I do? What am I doing? But it's really just nice to be outdoors. And I take my journal with me and I will start writing how I'm feeling for the day, goals that I would like to have within a year, 5, 10 years, just to like start writing. And it is there's something very powerful with having a pen and piece of paper. I mean, people can use their phones too, whatever is comfortable for them. But for me, it's always with the pen and paper. I love that. And maybe I'll start doing what you do and start writing a card to myself on Valentine's Day. That's great.
Well, I think that pen and paper is way more powerful than electronics.
I think
And
so
the
too.
reason is, there's that brain hand and moving across the paper connection. And I think that we can be more honest with ourselves when we are actually physically writing rather than hands on the keyboard. Because I don't know about you, but a lot of times when my hands are on the keyboard, while I'm thinking the words, I'm also thinking other things.
Hmm.
Um, but there is, I don't know the science. I'm not a scientist, so I can give you Leslie science. I think that it is easier to be honest with yourself when you are physically writing than it is to be honest with yourself when you're doing it electronically.
Hmm.
And I want to emphasize, be honest with yourself. One day, this is about a year or so ago, I was really, really angry with some people. Very, very, very angry, to the point that I was up earlier than normal. And I was doing my morning writing and I was dancing all around the subject. And finally, I wrote, "Who are you lying to?" And then the next line was, "I'm lying to myself." And if we understand, we are three people. We are me, myself, and I. Me and myself want us to be happy, so they'll go along with anything that makes life easy. I sees everything. So then the next thing that I wrote was, I know exactly what you're thinking, so why are you trying to lie about it? And then I wrote, you're right. And I wrote down what I was really feeling, including, I wish this person would hurry up and die. Now that sounds horrible, but don't tell me that you haven't had similar thoughts. Maybe not that drastic, but my point is with sharing that is if we can be honest with ourselves about what we are really feeling in that moment, what happens is that feeling then loses its power. And we can recognize, well, in that moment, that is how I felt. And once I expressed it and once I acknowledged it, it no longer had the power. I no longer, was wishing, hoping, or anything like that. I was able to move on because I quit lying about what I was really feeling. So that's what I'm saying. Be honest about what you're really feeling. Now, if you're concerned about someone reading your writing, just shoot me an email and I will mail you a box of matches and you can burn your words. But take the time, trust me, write what you are really feeling, good, bad, ugly, celebratory, whatever it is. Be honest with yourself and stop lying to yourself.
Yes, these are definitely some good practices too to have.